Kelsey Bonney with Nordic Consulting, and I'm the Manager of Optimization Solutions. I am here with Adrianna Baryla, who has done an optimization project with us that we'd love to talk about. I think the first thing to talk about is what is phases of care?
Phases of care is a automation in the system that allows us to manage orders a little bit more efficiently. So one of the fundamental things with phases of care is that we can assign signed actions to the orders. So they can automatically be either signed or signed and held, which kind of cuts down on the amount of orders that are released in the system at the same time and guides the providers with making the decision of when to release those orders.
So you talked a little bit about the physician happiness and how both nursing and physician were really embraced the changes. Can you talk a little bit about how the hospital was able to kind of set the stage or set a strong infrastructure with their operations in order to make sure that there was buy-in? Like what kind of people were involved in that process from the get-go? Because I know, being an ex-Epic implementer myself, there is always challenges with operations, IT, buy-in. That can be a real challenge for everybody.
Sure. The one thing that was really helpful is that we had a point person, a clinical liaison, if you may, that represented each site and that was available to me and was really involved in the process. And that person from each site, when we were refining our workflows and creating our training materials, was really instrumental in pulling in the various clinicians that were helping us to ensure that their areas would go live successfully. So the OB nurse manager, the ICU director, folks like that, that really know their areas and know their staff,
right,
and could help us to build out the system in a way that was going to be most helpful and most intuitive to their users.
So you had a lot of support from the client to say that this is something that we're doing, we're choosing to do this, everyone needs to be on board, let's do it together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think as a lot of us know, it's often not the build that takes so much time. It's really coordinating these meetings and making sure that all of the people that are ultimately going to be using the system really have the right expectation of what is going to happen once we go live. So we did spend a fair amount of time in those types of meetings and just really ensuring that everyone had the same understanding of what was to come with the phase of care implementation.
If a client is watching this video, what advice would you give them before they start their phases of care implementation?
My advice is to really look at things from the top down and to look at the higher level system logic first and really sort of define how do we want things to work. What is our expectation for each area that's in scope in terms of things signing and holding and this continuing and getting those pieces really nailed down first versus spending so much time worrying about order sets.
So getting more of a design in place from a how do you want everything to work versus specific details. Having a stronger idea of the vision of what that could look like. I think that's great advice. I mean, for phases of care or really for any kind of project you're going to be doing. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today, Adrianna.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.